2 seconds while I just mute this, pull out the headphones. And hi guys, this is Jackie M, and I am doing the first of 2 live demonstrations on Optimum. Well, I'm doing the Optimum Thermocook today, and Zane is going to do a different live demo tomorrow night. Okay, and thank you so much for joining us. Again, my name is Jackie M, and I am doing, I'm going to show you some features of the Optimum Thermocook. Before I go on any further, by the way, guys, if you've got any questions at all, just post them in the comments. If I don't see them, I've got some people in the back end, the sales and customer service team from Fruity, on standby to answer your questions. All right, so hit us with anything you've got, and we'll be trying to cover them both on Facebook and YouTube as well. And don't forget to stick around. This is only going to be a 30-minute demo, fingers crossed, and we are going to have a special discount code for our viewers. All right, so stick around, and we're going to cover everything best we can. And hello, Peter. First person to say hello. So don't forget to say hello and let us know where you're watching from. All right, and let us know if you own any Optimum Fruity products as we speak. But like I said, today I am demoing the Optimum Thermocook, which I've had the pleasure of using for probably close to a year now, right? In case you're wondering what this is, at some point I'm going to have to turn this around, guys, so have a good look at it while you can, because when I have to turn around to play with the settings in a bit. Okay, so if you're wondering what the Optimum Thermocook is, it is what we call a multi-function cooker. People get a little bit confused about its possibilities. Okay, I think most people would know what a Thermomix is. This does the same thing. Right, so it comes with a few different attachments. First of all, I just want to show you the main thing here. This is the cooking jug, all right? So as you can see, it doesn't look too different to a blender slash food processor. So you can imagine right away it does blend, mince, grind, and all that sort of stuff. It also comes with a butterfly whisk over here, you can see. So this can sit in there for when you want to you know, when you want to use it as a stirrer, or you want to use like, you know, to make whipped cream, or egg, you know, kind of like do the egg white thing. I don't do a lot of baking, so I struggle to find the right words for this. Then there's the lid. Okay, so it's got a number of pre-programmed functions. I'm not going to cover them tonight because they're a little bit they're a little bit involved, and in all honesty, the way I cook, I actually prefer to manually enter all the settings myself. All right, I'm just gonna try and keep half an eye on messages coming in here. So yeah, so I'm just a little bit paranoid about the audio, because I've got this studio here that they've got a lot of electrical equipment with you know, sound waves bouncing off each other, so we were struggling a little bit here. And the other thing it comes with, okay, it also comes with an insert here that can go inside, say if you want to poach or steam some rice in there, right? And then you close this up. Also comes with a steamer. It's a double tier steamer. I gotta find where the other tier has disappeared to. Here we go. Okay, so this is the second tier. It goes over like this. Here you go. So basically, it can, like I said, it can work as a food processor. It can stir food for you while, you know, at the same time as cooking it. Basically, if you set the temperature up, it can poach, it can steam. With the double tier, you can do all of them at the same time as well, depending on the recipe you're using, right? So if you can even steam 2 tiers of food at the same time. Generally, the idea is whatever takes longer to cook, you know, say if you want to steam some tougher ingredients, with this you can put them in there, stick this on top, and the kind of the most fragile ingredients you stick on the top tier, all right, or something that doesn't need to take as long to cook. Hey Selena, good to see you. Okay, and I'm gonna shock everyone today. I'm known for Asian cooking, but today I'm going to actually do a mushroom risotto with this, okay? Because the idea is I want to showcase the fact that, the beauty of using, because I mean, we all have food processors, most of us, we've got blenders and all that at home, right? Where this kind of like stands out in terms of functionality is that it replaces those appliances for you, but also a lot of people don't realize they think of these kind of multifunction cookers as good for cooking soup and really like smoothies and all that, but it does a lot more than that. It actually, what it does is that you think of tasks in the kitchen that take a long time, that you got to stand over the stove and stir, and risotto is one of those that really come to the fore when you think about that sort of stuff. This actually does the stirring for you, okay? So it takes a lot of the manual labor off your hands. So the ingredients we're going to need, so a fairly simple recipe. I've got garlic, some garlic cloves, onions. So I've got to peel and throw that in there to dice it up. I've got some Parmesan cheese, okay? So first of all, I'm actually going to grate the Parmesan cheese in there. I've got some arborio rice over here. Mushrooms, okay, I like my mushrooms, so there's a fair bit of it here, and then we're going to add the seasoning as well, all right, just some flavoring and some water as well to cook it through. If you've got stock, use stock, okay, but we're just going to throw in some water. Okay, so first of all, I want to just quickly cut up the onion. Let me just throw in the garlic, okay? I like a lot of garlic, you don't have to use all of it, but let's throw that in. And like I say, from here on in, I'm going to have to turn this around so you don't get to see what I'm doing. But as far as the, let me just show you quickly. As far as the settings are concerned, basically what you can regulate within this ecosystem here is you can set the blade speed, okay? So the faster the blade runs, obviously the more finely processed the food will be, and you can set the time, how long you want it to do it for. You can set the temperature, okay, it can go up to anywhere between 0 to 100, 37 to 120 degrees, and you can set the heat strength as well, okay, and this one point of difference with the Thermomix, which you can't control the heat strength with. The heat strength basically tells you how quickly it reaches whatever temperature you want to set it. Okay, so I mean, these are just minor nuances. I know because I used to actually, I do still own a Thermomix before this one came along. Okay, so there you go. So with just the garlic in there, the garlic cloves, all I'm just going to do is just mince it. So I'm just setting the blade speed, okay? Let's do it at 8, just press start. Okay, so just, that was, it didn't even, okay, 2 seconds. Okay, so that's the garlic, and you want to scrape it down. And I just realized I forgot to grab my butter, so I'm going to run over to my kitchen to do that in a bit. And if you've got white wine, you can throw in some white wine as well here. Okay, so I'm going to leave the garlic in there, and I'm just going to basically do the onion next. And I really should have done the Parmesan cheese. That's the one thing that you gotta keep in mind when you're using a multifunction cooker and adapting your recipes to it, right, guys? So think through what you're cooking. So technically, do as I say, not as I do here. Do the dry ingredients first, okay? So whatever it is that you're cooking, you think, okay, usually when I cook this, I'm gonna do this, okay? Think that through a little bit. It'll take a little bit of a kind of like, a little bit of planning ahead, just like a minute of thinking through your recipe and then being able to do everything in here, okay? And then after a while, it just becomes second nature. Obviously not tonight, because I don't usually do risotto. Look, in all honesty, why don't I scrape that out? Okay, let me scrape this out, and I'm just gonna try and wipe this down quickly, and then I'm gonna grate the Parmesan, okay? So out comes the garlic. Like I said, don't forget to hang around. By the end of this broadcast, we're going to announce an exclusive coupon code that you can use to purchase this appliance. Okay, this is one of my most used appliances in my kitchen. Okay, so let me just use some paper towels to just wipe this dry. Okay, and I'm only going to do enough Parmesan for this particular portion in any case, so don't get too grossed out about garlic with Parmesan, okay? Okay, so we've got this, and let's scrape some of that off the bowl. I'm trying to rush through this pretty quickly so that we have time to answer questions, okay? But if you've got any questions in the meantime, like I said, I've got the support staff and the customer service staff on standby to answer anything technical, anything that I can't cover or anything that I miss, fire away. And if you've got any questions about the other appliances in the Fruity range as well, we are more than happy to answer them tonight, all right guys? So we've got that. Where are we? Parmesan, you know, is pretty hard cheese here. So what you want to do is just cut it into like smaller chunks first, okay? Is that enough? I like a lot of cheese, so let's go a little bit more. Okay, throw it in, and let's zap this thing. Again, let me put it up to 10. Now, this is going to be a little bit loud because the cheese is hard, okay? It's like the blade hitting the hard, basically hard, you know, ingredients. So just so you want, here we go. Okay, so that's about 12 seconds. Okay, so there are a couple of tiny little chunks that you can process a little bit longer. I'm not going to bother with this, so just a couple of little chunks because I'm not doing a lot of Parmesan in there. Okay, so let's scrape this out. And by the way, guys, the recipe is going to be posted at my website, which is jackiem.com.au, so keep an eye out for it. It will be there in a couple of days, okay? So, but yeah, if you sign up to my newsletter, you'll be able to get it in your inbox. Okay, so that's the Parmesan cheese, so beautifully grated here, right? So next to go in, the onions. I've just got the one brown onion in here. And I just want to chop this one, okay? I don't want to mince it too finely. So I'm going to turn down the blade speed, okay? Because okay, let's see how it looks. Okay, so this is just a couple of seconds, okay, on speed 8, right? It's just roughly chopped it up. That's what we want. And now, I'm just going to scrape it down a little bit. And now I need some butter, so bear with me while I go and fetch my butter. And in fact, I'm going to throw the minced garlic in as well. Okay. Here we go. And I'm going to leave the cap off, right? And I'm going to actually start this. Look, you only want this on a very low speed, okay? Because you don't want to end up chopping it up. Set it to 100 degrees. Okay, and set it to just like a minute or so. Okay, two minutes. Why not? So I've got the butter. I'm just going to cut a chunk and throw that in through the top. I don't know if you can see. It's a little bit hard to see because it's dark. It's nighttime over here in Sydney, obviously. I'm assuming everyone watching here is down under. But here we go. Let's throw this in. Okay, you can see some smoke coming out because the heat's coming through. In goes the butter. And I'm just gonna quickly check some of the questions. Hey Karen, I've lost the connection. Want to know if it can be used as a slow cooker without stirring and a sous vide. I have lost the connection. I'm without stirring and sous vide. You can use it without stirring and you can use it as a sous vide. I'm not sure what you mean by the connection, but yeah, you can. In fact, that's another point of difference between the Thermocook and the Thermomix as well. The Thermomix does not operate without the blade spinning, whereas the Thermocook does. And the other point of difference is that the Thermocook does in fact come with a paddle as well, so you can actually switch out the blade with a stirring paddle, but we're not going to bother doing that today. Okay, let me just check some of the other comments. Okay, I think I've got some comments over here. Okay, cool. Okay, nothing for me so far. Okay, so this is just, like I said, this is just cooking it at 100 degrees, with the blade slowly just stirring it, okay, and for about just over a minute. So we've got a couple of seconds left on that. Just put some of these things away. And you know what? I'm going to actually now chop up the, slice up the mushrooms. Okay, the signal to say it's finished cooking. Okay. And just stir it around a bit, okay? So there's the butter and there's the onion and the garlic, so it's very, very fragrant now, right? Now what I want to do is add some white wine, but being Asian, I don't actually drink, so I don't actually have white wine lying around, but I'm going to throw in some Chinese rice wine in here, okay? So let's just cover this and throw in a bit of a Chinese rice wine, okay. And I'm going to, again, cook it for another, just stir it for another minute or so, okay. So again, speed 1, temperature, time, just a little bit excited here. Time, I just want 1 minute. Okay, and then temperature, 100 degrees. Let's do this. Okay, so mushrooms. Okay, I've got quite a bit more here than I probably will need, but let's see how we go. I just want to slice these up, right? You know what? Let me just stop this, and I can just throw the rice in now, really. Okay, so I've already a rice over here. This will take, like, I've put in about 300 grams of rice there, give or take, okay? And I just realized, again, obviously I don't do much risotto cooking. I should put the butterfly whisk in there to help it kind of like stir the rice, okay? So I'm just kind of like rigging it a little bit. Hopefully it won't cause any problems. You know, you really should put the butterfly whisk before you put the ingredients, okay? Again, do as I say, not as I do. Let's start this again. Chopping up the mushrooms. I'm going to try and scroll back. If you've got any comments or any questions at all, again, don't forget to just hit me up. Or either I or the sales/customer service team will be able to cover them for you, right? It's the best time to hit us up with questions, all right? Like I said, I've been using this for about a year now, I would think, give or take, yeah. In all honesty, I mostly use it for Asian cooking. Again, Asian cook, you know, but... Okay. There you go. You can see this, right? What I want to do now is just add in some flavoring. And you know, you can keep this vegetarian and use you know, just vegetarian seasoning. I'm going to put in some this is equivalent to using stock cubes. Okay, so I'm just using some chicken stock powder here. I need a little bit more though. Let me just have a look, see if I've got some more. Okay, that should be okay, but let me just put a little bit of salt in here. Okay, if you've got you know, vegetarian stock paste or vegetarian stock, really, you can use that as well. I'm just going to throw in the water now. Okay, and we may have to add more water to this. We'll see how we go, but in go the mushrooms. Okay, let's get this started. Now I'm going to cook it for about 30 minutes. Let's see how we go with 13 minutes. Temperature 100 degrees. And the heat setting, I mentioned the heat intensity, I'm going to reduce it to about 8, okay? And time, I want 13 minutes. Let's go. So it's doing the stirring for you. If you worry about it spitting during the cooking process, you can put this basket on top here, okay? And that just kind of helps let the steam out while making sure that you don't get too much food like flying all over the place. But it should be okay in any case. I'm just going to turn down the blade speed to 1, okay? And see how we go. And I might just chuck in a few more mushrooms as well, because I like mushrooms a lot. Okay, I'm very inclined to put in more seasoning, so let me have a dig around. Okay, there you go. Being Asian, this is mushroom seasoning, okay, very appropriate for risotto, so this will be perfect if you're vegetarian actually. So this is like the stock powder I use, but this is a vegetarian version of it, okay. So let's just sprinkle a bit in there, okay. If you've got any questions at all about the ingredients I use for my cooking or whatever, by all means, again, hit me up. Be more than happy to answer them. And I have problems with food sticking to the bottom. It's very hard to clean this when I make soup. Okay, yeah. Marlene, that's a valid question, right? First of all, remember I mentioned the heat intensity, and also the blade speed will help affect it as well. Okay, so you want the blade to be able to spin at sufficiently, like basically to agitate the contents so that they don't end up sticking to the bottom. And also the heat intensity matters as well. So you notice with this one here, I've reduced the heat intensity to 8 so that it doesn't actually kind of like heat up too quickly and cause the scorching that can sometimes happen. But as far as cleaning, I've never actually had any problems cleaning the Thermocook jug. So what you want to do is actually fill it up with a bit of water, with a bit of suds, okay, and hot water, and then yeah, you can actually basically use the machine to heat up the water and let the suds and the water do their work as well. So the thing, let it, like, you know, just kind of like heat it up and then like leave it in there for a while, and then you should be able to scrub it out pretty easily, okay. That's my answer, that's my experience. It's the same thing with the Thermocook or the Thermomix as well. Because like I said, before I owned the Thermocook, I actually owned a Thermomix. So I know it happens with both machines as well. But that's generally how they would tell you to clean these units, okay? I'm working on the Thermocook really fast. Okay. I've had the fruity for about 2 years, still have a rubber smell. How can I get rid of it? Okay. Someone will have to help with the fruity. I've lost. Okay. Okay. Okay, you wanna, yeah. Someone's saying in French about seeing the front of the Thermocook. Okay. It's very hard for me to be able to put the settings. Okay. So this is going to stir and cook, like I said. What I want to do is actually, I'm very Asian, okay? When I cook anything that uses rice, I'm inclined to actually cover this to let the steam do its thing. So I'm going to cover it part of the way. I'm splitting the difference, okay? I'm going to cover it part of the way and leaving it open the rest of it, because I know when you usually cook risotto, you're meant to actually just stand over the stove and stir it and add the liquid gradually, okay? But you don't cover it, but I'm just being me. Doesn't happen with my Thermomix. Cool. That's why you should have joined us earlier. So yeah, I showed all this before I started cooking. But when I do the settings, I have to turn it around. Okay. So, let me just have a quick look at some of the other messages. Yeah, the Thermocook does not smell of rubber. I think you might be talking about a different unit. I have never had a problem with it smelling. There's no rubber parts in it, basically, so I'm not sure where the rubber smell is coming from. Because you mentioned fruity, but with the Thermocook, yeah, hasn't been a problem, okay? So I don't know if you can see this much at all, right? So like I said, this is operationally there are some minor differences with the Thermomix, but generally a lot of the time if I'm trying to adapt a recipe for the Thermocook, I pretty much just use the Thermomix recipe, right? Because Thermomix has been around for 50 years, so there are like hundreds of thousands of recipes online. The Thermocook is quite new, so when you're trying to figure out how to cook something, anything that the Thermomix can do, you can pretty much do in a Thermocook. You may have to adjust like minor settings, you know, cooking times, pureeing times, and that sort of stuff, but fundamentally it does the same thing, okay? Okay, so this is gonna just do its thing and stir and cook, okay? Like I say, I'm a little bit Asian in that I want to cover the... I see all the steam escaping, I'm thinking, no, it should... it's going to ruin the rice, but we're using arboreal rice, obviously, which is a bit different to Asian jasmine rice. Okay, so like I said, if you've got any questions at all, don't forget to post them. And we're having, if we can't reply directly on YouTube, we're going to actually reply live on air. I can't see the YouTube broadcast at the moment. I can see the Facebook one, and I can see the comments on Facebook coming through. but any YouTube comments, they'll pass on to me, and I'll answer them live on air, okay? And if you're just joining us, don't forget to say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. And also, like I said, stick around for the discount code, which I need to look up. Just give me a second. Okay, so stick around. This has got how much more time? Okay, we've got another 5 minutes to go. We're cooking this, and then we'll announce the exclusive offer to our audience who are watching this live on air, okay? And again, if you've got questions about other Optimum appliances, other Fruity appliances as well, you can hit us up here, because like I said, I've got the whole team in the back end checking messages. So hit us up and we'll be more than happy to answer them. Just a quick note, I do have other appliances from Prestige Home Appliances, which is a sister company to Fruity. We're talking about the sous vide over here, right? The air fryer, the Healthy Fry air fryer, and the Optimum Induction Pressure Cook Pro, right over here. Okay, this is another one of my favorite Optimum appliances. So these three appliances, they're very new, and you can find out more about them at prestigehomeappliances.com.au. Okay, so make sure you check that out. These are some of my latest flashes, gadgets. I've been using them no end. Okay, so guys, don't forget that the code that I'm going to announce is only valid per one per order, okay? One code per order. It looks good. It's because I'm trying to make sure I've got all my bases covered as far as answering questions. Can you put a link to the recipe when you get a chance? Yep, definitely. Okay. So this recipe I haven't written up yet, but I'll get onto it ASAP. Okay, guys. And what I want is something for this to go into. What we're going to do at the end of this, right, you're going to find that it will continue, the rice will continue to absorb the liquid at the end of this. So at the end of this cooking process, it may be a little bit al dente, and then what I want to do is just transfer it into something that can provide the insulation it needs, and you keep it covered, and then in a few minutes it will actually start to absorb, it will continue to absorb the liquid, so it turns into just the right texture. But yeah. So don't worry too much if it's a bit sloppy when you take it out of your Thermocook jug, okay? Okay. See how it's looking? Okay. So there you go. Let's just check on it a little bit. I'm going to pour it out now. Like I said, don't forget, it will continue to basically cook a little bit more after you take it out, all right? And just quickly cover it up and set it aside. It doesn't look like a demo a competitor will do. Okay, so you've got the grated cheese, okay, that you want to add to this. But like I said, you want to actually keep this covered for a bit. And the thing about your risotto is that you want to eat it when it's hot, okay? When it goes cold, it's no longer that palatable. But this is the batch that I made earlier, and it's gone cold, so it looks like porridge, okay? So don't leave it till it goes cold like this, but it will, like I said, continue to soften and absorb the moisture, all right? So you want to keep it covered. If you've got a thermal server or something like that, put it in a thermal server, and it will continue to absorb the moisture, okay? So I cooked it for about 15 minutes. Play around with the time required to cook. But you see at the end of it, there's no sticking, no burning. Well, just a little discoloration, but that will wash off. It's not a problem at all. Don't forget, like I said, I've had this for a year now, so it still looks good. The other thing I want to mention is the if you're interested in getting a backup jug, just let me show it to you. Okay, so we do have a special offer for a backup jug for tonight's audience as well, okay? And I will give you the details in a bit as soon as I read up on it. But the Optimum Thermocook comes with two attachments, okay? The regular food processor attachment, the blade, and this one as well. So, it's definitely worth your while considering picking up a backup jug like this so that you can have one attachment in each, okay? So technically you could actually process all your ingredients in one, just transfer them into this and use this as the stirrer paddle, okay? That's what it is, it's a stirrer paddle to cook, if you're cooking chicken or whatever. I'll cook chicken curry and you can cook beef curry and all that in these devices as well. So they're really, really handy. Like I said, those are the kinds of dishes that usually would require you to stand in front of the stove, sauteing the ingredients and then making sure the chicken doesn't burn and all that. But yeah, so think about that. And as far as the discount voucher, let's have a look. What is it? Okay, so the discount voucher is, okay, it's the discount voucher gives you $50 off the already discounted price of the Thermocook, right? So the discount voucher you can use for both Australia and New Zealand, and basically the Australian foodie website is foodie.com.au, the New Zealand website is foodie.co.nz, and the code is, wait for it, TC. $50, okay? For TC $50, and that will knock $50 off your purchase of the Optimum Thermocook. It is only valid for 24 hours, so you've got 24 hours to decide, okay? So the RRP of the Optimum Thermocook is $1,600. We are already doing a sale of it at, let me just check quickly. The sale price is, where are we? Okay, let me have a look. That's what happens when you've got 50 things happening. Okay. Okay. The promotion price is currently on promotion on the foodie.com.au website. You'll find out when you go and visit the website. It's $800, okay? But with the coupon code, right? $50 off on that as well. So don't forget, it's only valid for 24 hours from now. So go and check it out now. And yeah, like I said, you know, this is make my life so much easier as far as what I can do with this. If you've got any final questions, hit me up now, please, guys. Nothing. Okay. But yeah, I will post the recipe at my website at jackiem.com.au, and we will share it on through the social media pages as well. Okay. So I want this to actually continue to cook, like basically just slowly absorb the flavors, but it is pretty much done. That is my, let me just take some out. My risotto, okay, in about, in theory, about 20 minutes. But yeah, let it sit for a little bit in there and sprinkle this over as well, right? Let me just pull up everything. I've had to, in the process of trying to make sure everything was working, I had to actually mute all my audio and close down all my screens. Okay, let's do this. So that's the mushroom risotto with lots of Parmesan cheese over it. Okay. Okay, fabulous. There you go, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Don't forget, check out fruity.com.au or fruity.co.nz and apply the discount code TC $50, the $50, and it's only valid for 24 hours from now on. And I will see you next time we do another live stream. So don't forget to catch tomorrow's as well, and that's going to be hosted by Zane using a different Optimum appliance. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you again. Ciao.